So I have a 2018 Toyota Camry here in the shop, and we're going to show you how to change the rear brakes in this vehicle. So if you go to the dealership and have them do it, it'll probably be around like 700 bucks at the time of this video. So all you'll be into it for is a pot, the cost of the brakes and the brake pads. So it'll save you a ton of money if you do it yourself. I'll show you how to do it.
So we got a 14mm socket. We're going to take the caliper bolts off. There's two of them. Here, crack those loose. We're going to pull the caliper off and we're just going to depress the piston. You can get a screwdriver in there. This one's pretty simple to do with the vice grip piston. I'll show you that. So slip the caliper off and cut the piston right there. I'm going to put the vice grips in here and we'll collapse this. And the piston goes right down. Okay, so we got the piston all collapsed. Gonna inspect our boot, make sure it looks good. Set the boot back in there. We're gonna put some brake caliper pin lube around this, a little on this, and this will be ready to reinstall. We've got a 17mm, 2 bolts here to take off on the caliper bracket. Boy, let me get in there. Oh, get a tough one. This one here.
Yeah, we're up here in the rust belt, so hopefully you guys have an easier time breaking these free.
Yeah, I'm using a 3/8 ratchet too, so
Not a lot of leverage.
okay, so we got that off. We're gonna slide our bracket off with our pads. The rotor off. Get a little hammer, give it a little shot. We've got the rubber grommet here we're gonna take off. This is where the adjustment is. There's not a lot of adjustment on this car. It's got 30,000 miles, so just taking this rubber grommet out.
So there is a gear in there. It is emergency brake shoes, and sometimes you have to back off on the adjustment gear in this hole, and that'll release the pressure on the shoes against the outside of the brake rotor, so you can get it off.
All right, so just gonna give a little tap like that. And see, the problem with this rotor is, see, we've lost the surface of it. So it's making some noise and it's wore the brake pads down, even though it's got low mileage. Now, the emergency brake shoes are like brand new. The guys, you know, Ed's not using them really. And here's the self-adjuster that Tony's talking about right here. And this is what we're going to adjust when we put the new rotor on. So we're going to put some never-sees around here. We'll brake clean our new rotor and slip it on. We're going to adjust it up so it's got a little bit of drag. And then we'll start reassembling our brake pads in the brake bar. So they gave us 8 clips in here, and the only difference that I can see between the clips is that you've got this little bump right here on this one, and this one doesn't. This is the exact same thing in the OEM one. So I'm going to use these, and they're kind of tight to put on, so we'll show you that in a minute. We're going to get the brake rotor on the truck, right on the car right now, and we'll adjust up that self-adjuster.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna clean our brake rotor. Just get the oil off of it. They do this to store them. Sometimes after you do a brake job, you get a little bit of a smell for a day or so, and it's just the oil burning off the rotors. A little bit of residue. Some of the paint's coming off on this. We use Raybest, this brand. Good company. We've had good luck with them. We went with ceramic brake pads.
Yeah, I like running the ceramics too because
no squeal.
yeah, there's a little barely any brake dust too.
So you got the inside here. This is where the emergency brake shoes run. So you got to brake clean that too. And so we're going to go slip this on and get this adjusted up. Okay, we're going to never seize our hub here, so the rotor doesn't build up. We've also got aluminum wheels on here. This is going to help if the tire ever has to come off. And we've got our self-adjuster here. I always try and line up with the original dots that were on there. And it's just me, so. Okay, so now I've got down in this hole. That's where the self-adjuster is. Tony can get the light down in there for me.
There you go. I can see it.
I can't see it.
You got to go towards the right a little. There you go.
I'm cranking up on the adjustment. I can start it feeling getting tight here. And I can't move the rotor. So now I'm going to go the other way a couple times. Now I can turn it over. You hear the drag? That's what we want to hear. We're going to get our plug put back in. Got our plug back in there. Now we've got our brake pads. We're going to go assemble our brake pads. We can do our caliper right now while we're here. We can put the lube on our caliper piston. This is protecting the boot, keeping it moist so that it doesn't dry out and crack. And when it does that, it gets debris in there and it's going to seize up your piston and shorten the life of the caliper. Okay, so this one's all set and we're going to go load our brake pads up. Okay. There was still a little life left on the brakes, but the rotors are just scored, so you hear a noise, and then you can see how it prematurely wears the brake pads. So this one is thicker than this one because the rotor, the glazes come off the rotor, the surface, I should say, and that's what wears the brake pads. And then you step on the brake, it almost sounds like you're grinding, but you're not. So we've got our clips here, and we're going to take the clips off. Okay, we're going to give this a quick wire brush and a file. Trying to get the rust off. You want to make sure that clip sits down on there flat so it doesn't crimp the brake pad, so the brake pad will drag. So I've got a file here, a small file, and I'm just trying to remove any lumps or anything that, you know, a rust scale. And you feel it feels really smooth, so that's good. So I got a little something right here. I'll work that a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Okay, we use the wire brush again. Get these, we do the same procedure on all of our calipers, brackets. So I'm peeling the boot back and I'm grabbing the pin with my vice grips. It's not just a little tight, but it's good. So I'll do one boot at a time. I like to put a little grease in the boot so that when I push the pin in, it kind of fills the whole cavity in there. But we go through a lot of caliper.
We really kind of do. Yeah, we use a lot of
I
caliper.
got to buy a 6-pack box of it. That's how I buy it, because we use so much of it. So, and it's the cheapest way to get it. So,
Yeah, I'll put some links in the description of this video to it too, if you guys want to buy some through Amazon or something.
yeah.
I tend to do that in our videos.
Okay, so these pins are all nice and smooth. They're all good. All right, so let's get our clips in. The clips are kind of tough to get in there, I'll be honest with you. Kind of a pain, but so you're trying to get this piece right down here to roll tight into this area here. And this is what's tough to try and get that in there. And then you've got catch edges here. So it's got to fit right into the middle of this. And you're trying to get this down in there. And I've been taking my vice grips a little bit and trying to squeeze them down there a little bit. Get them in there. I'm gonna make sure the seating. Okay. Yeah, these clips they're tough.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a challenge, huh?
Yeah.
So you just got to be patient with them.
Yeah, you got to get that little tab, this little tab right here to catch in between the metal, and that's what the tough spot is. So
it's not impossible. It's just something extra. You got to kind of fight with it a little bit. If you buy the OE replacements, it might be a little easier for you. Yeah, not sure, but
I'll tell you, man, they looked identical. So
yeah,
kind of weird, but.
But then again, they're in the rust belt, so these brake calipers and bars pit and stuff after a while, so they're never exactly like they were.
Okay. All right, let's get this one down there. That one seemed to go on a little better.
Yeah, that one kind of just popped right in.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to lube them up. I'm going to slide our brake pads in. Okay, I got the bar here. And I'm trying to push down on the tensioner to get these clips to slide in. Okay, that one's in. We'll do this one the same way. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go slip this on the rotor.
A lot more meat on those pads, huh, Steve?
Somehow. You never know who's delivering stuff to you now, though. Cars are all different.
So what we're doing right now is put a little anti-seize on the bolts so we can get them off easier next time. We're up here in the rust belt, so we have a real problem with things freezing up on us and rusting together, right, Steve?
Yeah.
It's a way of life.
So we got a caliper bracket set up. I'm sliding my brake pads on, and then I'm going to squeeze them. Okay, so now they're in my shield good. And we just got to line this up. And with this one on there. All right, let's tighten these up. Okay. Got pads in here. We've got our caliper all set. It's all lubed up. You can see all of that.
Yep.
I'm going to slide that over. Pin there. And there. Okay, we're going to get a little never sees on our pins here.
So you put a little never-sees on the bolts
Yeah.
for the caliper.
Yeah.
You just catch these by hand. Never want to catch them with the wrench or a socket. Always catch them by hand so you don't strip the threads. Believe me, you'll thank yourself. Strip a thread bolt and it makes for a long day.
Okay, I get that tight. And we got this tight. Okay, so we've got our brakes done, and it's going to be the same exact procedure on the other side. And I'm just going to clean all the never sees off of this, wipe this down, and if you got any material on your brake pads, grease like that, we just turn the rotor, we'll give it a final wipe down, and that's going to be it.
And before you start the car, get in the driver's seat, pump the brakes up so the brake pedal's hard again, so that you have brakes, because if you don't do that, the brake pedal might go all the way to the floor. That's all you need to do.